Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan has been shot and wounded in the leg in an attack on his protest march in the eastern city of Wazirabad. This the scene directly after the shooting. Total chaos on the streets as Imran Khan is dragged to safety. Moments later, he is bundled into a car and driven to hospital. A senior aide said it was an attempt to kill him, but police are yet to confirm that he was the target. The 70-year-old had been leading a march on the capital Islamabad to demand snap elections after he was ousted in April. Members of his PTI party said another 4 people were hurt in the shooting. Here photos of one of them, the Pakistani politician Faisal Javed, his clothes stained with blood. South Korean military says North Korea has fired an intercontinental ballistic missile, but it failed mid-flight. The ICBM launch, the North's 7th this year, sparked an alert in Japan but fell short, landing in the sea. Tensions are escalating amid fears the North will soon conduct a nuclear test. On Wednesday, both Koreas fired missiles near each other's waters. The exchange saw the most number of missiles launched by the North in a single day. The British ambassador to Moscow has been summoned over Russia's claim that British Navy personnel were involved in a Ukrainian drone attack on the country's Black Sea Fleet in Crimea. Ambassador Deborah Bronert arrived at the Foreign Ministry shortly after 10:30 local time as a small crowd chanted anti-British slogans and held up placards reading "Britain is a terrorist state." Bronert was inside the ministry for around 30 minutes. There was no immediate statement from either Russia or Britain on the details of what was discussed. Kenya's President William Ruto has officially deployed troops to Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo to join an East African regional force aiming to end decades of bloodshed. The 7 countries of the Eastern African Community, which DRC joined this year, agreed in April to set up a joint force to fight militia groups in Congo's east. The Kenyan troops will join a contingent from Burundi. Despite billions of dollars spent on one of the United Nations' longest peacekeeping forces, more than 120 armed groups continue to operate across large swathes of East Congo, including the M23 rebels, which DRC has repeatedly accused Rwanda of supporting. Kigali denies the claims. With just a few days to go until voters turn out to the polls for the midterm elections, the former US President Barack Obama has campaigned in Phoenix for Arizona's Democratic candidates on the ballot. The former Democratic president spoke against Republican election deniers, the right to vote, and also raised concerns about the state of democracy. Obama looked back to past movements to ensure that women, African Americans, and others who have been marginalized could take part in a democracy that he said was now at risk.
Most GOP politicians, they're not even pretending that the rules apply to them. They seem to be willing to just make stuff up. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when Arizona elected not just John McCain, but other Republicans who they fought hard in elections. They didn't agree with Democrats on stuff, but they were decent, honorable public servants. That feels like a long time ago.
And hundreds came together in Chicago to honor the dead at the 43rd annual Muertos de la Risa event. Literally translated as dying of laughter, it is one of the city's longest-running Dia de los Muertos events and is family and pet-friendly. Attendees took to the streets, most of them dressed in holiday attire, as they marched, chanted, and most importantly reflected on family members and friends who had passed away. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.